Yes, indeed. Finding some folks, that makes me think about my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother, that sweet and that mean one I was telling y'all about earlier. You see, my great-grandfather left for work, and when he was away, a white man came to my great-grandmother, and he told her that there was oil on her land. And so my great-grandmother was a smart woman, but even smart people can be duped sometimes. And my great-grandmother signed those papers, and the next day, the sheriff came and put my great-grandmother and all her children out on the side of the road. Now, that stuck with my great-grandmother for years. She held that in her heart, and I think that was a part of her being so mean. It makes me think about the trouble that some black people have. You know, we have trouble in so many of our titles of our songs, from spirituals to gospel to blues. We got trouble in my mind. We have trouble blues. Vera, can you sing a little bit of the song for us? We got trouble
will be done with the trouble of this world.
I want us to think about and bring us to this moment of 1919. It was 100 years ago, right this weekend. September 29th, September 30th, October 1st. 100 years ago, these people were just common people, every day, just like you and me. And they just wanted a good life, and they were coming together. They were showing up in the church, and they were trying to unionize to make their life a little bit better, and it was met with such brutality. My God. I think about Ida B. Wells. Now, this woman was born into some trouble. She was born a slave. She had raised her own siblings, and she was living in a land where lynching was so common, you couldn't turn around for anything. Now, Ida B. Wells heard about the trouble that happened here in Arkansas. They sent her a letter, and she came on down to see what the trouble was. Ida B. Wells was brave. Let me tell y'all what Ida B. Wells did. She went undercover and dressed up as a relative, and she went in and she got the testimonies of these men who were locked up and in prison after that massacre happened. And she got the testimonies, and she sang songs with them, and she got it right from the source. I want us to sit with that. That's powerful. Yes. We come from these people.
Yes. Right.
We want to travel back to 1919, and we're going to hear some of those testimonies that Ida B. Wells was able to get. It's harvest time. Just like now. Dust in the fields. People were out there working. These men had just picked their cotton, and they wanted it for a good rate. Now, Vera, can you sing a little bit more for us? Put the spirit in the room.
It's getting late in the evening, and the sun is going down. It's getting late in the evening, and the sun is going down.
Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. They just wanted something that was fair. Movie. Can you start reading some of the testimonies?
On October 1st, we saw about 150 armed white men coming to our house. And we left the house and ran on down in the woods and carried our sister down in the woods with us. And they came and hunted us out. And they shot at the women and killed 3 men and wounded Albert Giles and Alfred Banks and Joe Fox.
On October 1, 1919, after the trouble, the church before the church, they were after the colored people to kill them. So we ran into the swamp.
I was at Hootsburg Church that night to lodge meeting. I do know that 4 or 5 automobiles full of white men came about 50 yards from the church and put the lights out. Then started shooting in the church with about 200 head of men, women, and children.
They were so thick around us. They killed one white man and we heard them say, "We are killing our own men." And they went to our house and took everything that was there.
I had 100 acres of land rented from Stanley and Moore brothers. I had a good crop of cotton and corn on the whole place. My brother Frank Hicks worked about 30 acres of cotton and corn, and I worked the rest.
I was on the outside of the church and I saw this for myself. Then I ran after they started firing in on the church. I don't know if anybody got killed at all. I went home and stayed home that night. Then the white people was sending word that they was going to kill all the black people. Then I ran back in the woods and hid 2 days. Then the soldiers came in and I made it to them. I was carried to Elaine and put in the schoolhouse and I was there 8 days.
We do not know how the shooting started that night because we were not there. We got the news the next day that they were going to kill every Negro they saw.
I bought 4 mules and a wagon, farm tools, and all of my wife's clothes. They took them from the farm in the trouble.
E.D. Hicks, president of the Elaine Lodge, had 100 acres of land rented. His wife was the only woman to get any of her household goods when she went back after the trouble. Also, some of her hogs and chickens and shorts, which she sold and realized little money on. For the 25 acres of cotton and foreign corn, she received not a cent. After taking everything these people had, when these women went to Helena after the trial of their husbands, they were permitted to see them only once. And they had to pay $1 each to the jailer for the privilege to do that. It makes me think of my great-grandmother. That mean and that sweet one. She and her children out there on the side of the road that cold morning. The only thing that they had left was the clothes on their backs and the song in their hearts. Vera, can we get it getting late in the evening?
I said it's getting late in the evening.
Ed Ware, 100 acres of cotton, 100 bales at $225 per bale, $22,500.
Frank Hicks and Ed Hicks, 100 acres of cotton, 100 bales, $225 per bale, $22,500.
Albert Giles, 20 acres of cotton, 20 bales at $225 per bale, $4,500.
Joseph Fox, 20 acres of cotton, 20 bales, $225 per bale, $4,500.
Albert Banks, 3,200 acres of cotton, 32 bills at $225,
John
$7,200.
22 acres of cotton, 22 bales,
William Woodlock, 16 acres of cotton, 16 bills at $225, $3,600.
Frank Moore, 14 acres of cotton, 15 bales.
Ed Coleman, 12 acres, $2,700.
We don't know. 10 acres of cotton.
Oh, 40 acres of cotton, 40 bills at $225, $9,000.
Walter Gully, 20 acres of cotton and corn.
E. Earl, 20 acres of cotton and corn. Riverside, Ohio, Walnut, Arkansas. 36 acres of cotton. Elaine, Arkansas.
here.
Trouble in mind, I'm blue, but I won't be blue always. You know the sun gonna shine my back door someday. I'm gonna lay my head on some lonesome railroad line. Gonna let the 219 train satisfy